And before you ask, yes, it's no monster. It's a god! Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to Team Forbidden's YouTube page. It is I, Set Osama the Fanatic. You guys have already seen my raw deck profile on the channel. Obelisk structure deck came out. Truth be told, you guys might think raw was my favorite. I saw a lot of comments on that video saying, man, this guy is actually Merrick Ishtar, and I'm like, yeah, probably, but as y'all know, Kaiba is my favorite character, so Obelisk is... Let's be honest, it's the best of the three, and it's also the worst of the three. Little mini rant that's probably going to get cut. When Obelisk was first revealed, it was revealed right during Dark Armed Lightsworn format. And you read the effects and you're familiar with the Nightmare Troubadour games where they actually gave him effects. So you're like, okay, can't be responded to with the summon. Cool, God can't say no to himself. That makes perfect sense. Can't be targeted. Okay, just like the video games. Okay, tribute 2 monsters to destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Okay, just like the video games. This card cannot attack the turn you use this effect. What? What do you mean? You got shit like Dark Arm Dragon, which can just drop 3 of them, pop 3, and then just attack for game. Judgment Dragon, drop it when you have 4 Lightsworns, pay 1,000, blow up the field, and then just drop 2 more and just kill? And Obelisk can't attack the turn, it activates its effect. There were a whole bunch of people that when I complained about that, they talked to me and said, well, yeah, that would be broken. It's supposed to be broken. It's a god. So it's like, but overall, Slifer's kind of like a balance between the 3. Raw got butchered with the first line of text. I believe I went over that in the Winged Dragon of Raw video, but Slifer is basically perfect except for the fact that it doesn't have target protection. This is basically perfect except for the fact that you can't attack with it after you use its effect. It's basically a giant castle. So the way that we are building Obelisk deck today is basically this exact same way we built Raw before. It's kind of protect the castle because you don't have to worry about all the combos and stuff with Raw. So let's get into it. Okay, so to start off this profile, we are of course going with 3 copies of Obelisk the Tormentor. I mean, it's Obelisk the Tormentor. If you want a more competitive version of this deck, you probably should cut this card down to 2. I mean, it's not exactly entirely searchable, but you run 3 of it because you want to see it. It can be a little cloggy sometimes, but as I stated in the intro, this is just like Raw. We're running the Numeron engine here. So 4K requires 3 tributes to normal summon, can't be set, and can't be targeted, and its summon can't be responded to. And if it's special summoned, it's sent to the graveyard during the end phase. So on top of that, your standard Numeron stuff. 3 Numeron Wall, self-explanatory. 3 Planet Pathfinder, again, self-explanatory. And then the Gamma package. Because you want to make sure that they're not able to ash your Pathfinder or ash your anything else that you want to do. Self-explanatory and standard. That's it for the monsters. Nothing else. So, again, standard Numeron stuff. 3 Numeron Network, self-explanatory. You need this card to resolve your Numeron Calling, which we are running 3 of this time, because we actually do have ways that we can just recycle the Numerons and get them back in, so the 3rd one is always live, and you always want to make sure that you have at least 1 copy of this in your deck. 2 Memories of Hope. Arguably, this should be 3. What can I really say about this card? It's a draw 4 in this deck. Broken. Don't care if it's once per turn. Draw 4. You're usually going to see what you want when you want it. Next up, 3 copies of Soul Crossing. What can I basically say about this card? This is exactly how Kaiba played Soul Exchange in the anime and the manga. So it lets you, because this is our first God deck on the channel with this card, so might as well explain what it does. So during the main phase, immediately after it resolves, you tribute a Divine Beast monster, and you contribute monsters from either side of the field. It's not like Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere mode where you have to tribute 3 of their monsters entirely. This It's just either side, but the stipulation is if you tribute one of your opponent's monsters, you're only able to activate one card or effect that turn aside from Divine Beast monsters. So like after this resolves, if it resolves successfully and you tribute an opponent's monster, you can only activate one other card or effect aside from the effect of Obelisk the Tormentor in the case of this deck. Arguably this should be cut down to 2, but you need to see this card because the idea is you basically set it up. If you go first, you set it up so where you have this card set with Obelisk in hand, your opponent tries to combo off and set up a board, you soul crossing them during their turn and basically nuke their board and get your god right out on the field. 2 copies of the new card Fist of Fate. Only 2, and arguably you should probably only play 1. But essentially what this does is if you have a monster whose name is Obelisk the Tormentor, you non-target, negate, and destroy an opponent's monster, and then if it's during your main phase, you Heartbeast Feather Duster them. So this was essentially their way of making up for the fact that Obelisk cannot punch through Mirror Force in real life. And to make use of the fact that we go through, we get 5 monsters in the graveyard easy, 2 Pot of Everest, or Pot of Hitler as we like to call it back in the day, just because of that stupid stash on the card. Stupid mustachie for all you people who watch Dragon Ball GT. Which case, why? Why are you watching Dragon Ball GT?
It's the best.
No, it isn't. And even Super's not that good. I'm just going to throw that out there. You can fight me on that in the comments. I will gladly take discussion on non-Yu-Gi-Oh material in the comics as well. Comments. Can't English. And for more, we have standard 49 card deck. I mean, you can literally inflict more than 8,000 damage in one turn with this deck, so Upstart Goblin is fine. 49 card deck, let's go. Oh, wait, what's that? 48? I mean, obligatory 4th copy of Numeron Network? Okay. Monster Reborn, because we can have nice things. Heartbeast Feather Duster, because we can have nicer things. And the One Begone Demon Child, because for some reason, we can still only have the one.
Cross out when.
That too. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of spell cards, a lot of them are involving getting Obelisk on the board or setting up your Numeron network and making sure you have enough resources to play. On to the traps. We have 3 copies of God Says Stop Taking My Shit. 3 copies of God Says No. Because, I mean, if you're looking for good back row cards, these are basically about as good as it gets. Plus, of course, some
Emperor says no.
Yep, the Emperor says no. The Imperial Order. Because basically, you resolve Numeron Network once, you're probably going to win. So, it's one of those where it's like, that's fine, I've resolved my network. That's fine, I just want to make sure that no other spells can be played. And the fun little kicker, why I'm running it, you can activate this with this on the field and it will still work because its activation and effect cannot be negated. So that's why I'm running the Imperial Order. Into the extra deck, we've got, of course, the standard Numeron shenanigans, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, and the C1 for when it comes up. We also have 1 copy of Psyframe Lord Omega, as well as the, let's be honest, really only good 5 Link monsters that you can really use with Numeron. So we've got the Infinity Fortress Megaclops, which essentially, if you want to just laugh at your opponent in the face and you know they don't have Xyz monsters, and you don't have Obelisk in your hand, you just summon this, and just be like, sup. 1 Mech Knight Crusadia Abramax as well, because he's kind of the same thing. You just summon the Numerons and then make him, and then he's basically unaffected by anything special summoned from the extra deck, and he gets over anything special summoned from the extra deck, so he good. And 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, because you literally just summon 4 and unlink him off with an opponent's monster and just make her, and then she's basically unaffected by anything that activates. So there's that. One Sariyuja Skuldred, because you can just link them off and just set up a board. Usually when you're going first, you're gonna make this guy or Appaloosa, because Sariyuja, you can basically just try and fix your hand. Hopefully you'll get either the Obelisk and the Soul Crossing, and maybe a couple of back row cards that you can use during your opponent's turn. And this is basically for going first, also for going first, depending on what matchup you're doing or how good your hand is. Because, again, this deck is a one-card engine with the Numeron stuff. Okay, side deck, so Numeron, so 3 copies of Gameciel, Sea Turtle Kaiju, Friend of All Children. And we have 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Basically, it's if you know you're going second, you side the Solemn Strikes out for these, and the Judgments out for the other stuff that'll be appropriate. So if you know your opponent sets up a whole big Protect the Castle deck, you sided the Gameciels instead of the Judgments, Veilers instead of the Strikes, sided Ash Blossom. Unfortunately, I've only got the 2 in here. With Dark Riddler no more, because you can easily just... Again, it's Numeron. You can literally kill your opponent's field. You're going to have 4 attackers that get stronger and stronger and stronger. So you can probably just kill your opponent's field and then just make whichever Link 4 or Link 5 will just screw your opponent over the most. For back row hate, we've got some Twin Twisters, because sometimes you can get a little cloggy and you want to be able to get rid of as much back row as possible. If you have Lightning Storms, which I understand they are still very expensive right now, run those over this. Red Reboot, because obligatory, you have a trap deck? Hey, no. And unless Dogmatica Invoke gets hit, which I don't think it will, but a lot of people apparently want it, you got Dimensional Barrier as well, which is a very good trap card to side in against that deck.
Very underrated.
Very highly underrated. It's good against Zodiacs as well, because they start their turn, you summon a monster. Oh, okay, Xyz. Have fun! So yeah, that's basically it for the Obelisk deck profile right now. I'm running this artwork because it's my favorite of the 3 of them. Should have some more God card profiles coming up on the channel from other guys. If you would like to see an update for the Winged Dragon of Ra, because I do have an update idea for that one, just let us know in the comments section down below. Again, we do have the promo going on for PAL Manga Mats. This is, as you can see, not a PAL Manga Mat. It is a very good Yu-Gi-Oh card mat, but it is not a PAL Manga Mat. We do have a promo for that going on for the fine mat and field centers. Use the promo code Forbidden10 on that. Remember to hit that bell down below for notifications, like, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you guys next time.